Somebody's like said, like, you can't be a filmmaker that doesn't make films. And I was like, man, that really hit. Like, I got into this because I love movies, you know.
Yeah,
and
you just cut me deep.
I don't know, I'm sure we all feel that way, you know.
No, for sure. So getting to that point where you're shooting a feature is a goal. Do you see yourself just getting a call, hopefully, or do you like want to create a feature?
Yeah, I think both.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been working with a lot of local filmmakers on like their short films. I shot like 2 last year, and I got a couple in the can coming up. I don't think that's a phrase, is it? In the can? I think the can is when you're done. Sorry, I got a couple coming up. Yeah.
But you can open the can and
right, you can open the
dump
can.
it out.
Yeah, there we go.
It works. Welcome to A Filmmaker's Journey. Welcome to the podcast, all the things. Asher.
Happy to be here.
And what was your last name?
Huskinson.
Huskinson.
Yeah.
Asher Huskinson. Welcome, dude.
Thanks.
This is cool. Zane introduced us, says that you're an awesome DP, an awesome dude all around. So had to get you in here. Excited to get to know you.
Yeah, thanks so much again for having me. It's gonna be awesome.
So like I said, you've seen a few of these. Which ones have you seen again for the people that are watching, like just so we can kind of get a feel for your network?
Yeah. So my friend Whitney Ingram, we worked together a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah.
She was only there for like a freaking month.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. And when she was on this podcast, she was teasing it, didn't tell me until off the podcast that it was Creatably.
Yeah.
She was excited. And
Creatably, man. I know, right? So I know Whitney. I kind of sort of knew Devin Graham a little bit, you know. I think a lot of the people, I think we all run a lot of the same circles and stuff. So even if I don't know them super well, like we probably interacted at one point or another.
Totally. What did you do? Which shoot were you on with Devin? Do you remember?
We did. I think it was a Pokemon themed ad or something like that.
That was with David.
Yeah, David and Devin. Yeah, we were up in like some cabin up in the middle of winter, filming like a short film. And it was a really cool opportunity because growing up, I'd always like watched Devin's videos and stuff, and then to be like, oh, he's like right there,
like
it's so
many
crazy.
people.
Yeah.
And did you ever see me on any? Were you that kind of did you see any behind the scenes? With
no,
me?
I don't think I saw you on there. No, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, this is the first time then we're face to face. But yeah, Zane was like, he was telling me before you came, he's like, dude, you have to have Asher on. He's so good. And he's like, he was working on that shoot with us. You know, you were a PA, he didn't know much about you, and then you ended up showing him, or I think he looked you up, and he's like, what? You're so good. Why are you PAing? You know what I mean? So excited to get to know you, man.
Yeah.
So we just want to hear about you. Give yourself a little introduction. Tell us about what you do currently as a filmmaker, and just a little background on yourself right now.
Sure. Yeah, so I am a cinematographer, mainly specializing in commercials. I didn't go to film school. I went to ad school, and I think that's kind of what affected my portfolio.
There's ad school?
Yeah.
Is it marketing?
No, yeah. So there's marketing, and then there's advertising, which are kind of separate. And
you went into it like with any idea you would actually create the ads, or was it like more of the psychology of ads? Yeah. Is that more what it was?
No, so I went in thinking that I would be creating ads. So at my university that I went to, they actually happened to have like this really kind of renowned advertising program.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted to do something with film, but I wasn't 100% sold on studying film. And so my first semester, I went to a major fair, found the ad lab, is what they called it. And they train people for traditional advertising agency roles like art directors, copywriters, strategists. Like
cool.
All the professors were former ad agency workers, creative directors and stuff that just wanted to teach. And there was another role, though, for people like myself who were creatives that wanted to work in advertising but didn't fit any of like those kind of traditional roles. And it was just called a content creator. And there were a lot of different people, but it was mostly like filmmakers like myself. And when I went in, I knew that I kind of wanted to do something with filmmaking, but I wasn't 100% sure. I had done editing, I had done directing. It was all kind of small stuff in high school with my buddies, you know. But
can I ask you for one piece of advice on the psychology of how to get an ad to convert?
How to get an ad to convert?
Yeah, like you sound like you might know a lot, especially if you went to college in advertising, because that's what everyone wants to learn, right? If we're creating content for a company and it's not converting, then we have no job.
Yeah.
What would you say to that, like as far as content creators?
Yeah, that's a good
Total
question.
general question, and put me on the spot right out of the gate. But at the same time, I think that'd be kind of cool to dive into for just a second.
Yeah, totally. So I'll admit, I mean, I don't use my degree a ton,
Cool.
I mean, mostly I got my degree for the portfolio
Yes.
that would get me. But I think in those classes, though, I did learn to kind of identify what's like a good ad versus
Yeah.
what's just kind of like forgettable,
Totally.
And I think, it all just kind of comes down to like, are you selling features or are you selling benefits?
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it's kind of a generalization. I'm sure anybody who's taken a basic advertising class will know that. But I feel like, yeah, the ads that are, I don't know, trying to connect with you on a human level and make you kind of feel something, whether that's comedy or it's more serious or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that those are the ones that I might convert. I guess I'm not sure
Totally.
what the right definition of conversion
And
is.
it's easy
but
for you and
yeah.
I to just be like, oh, this is kind of like whatever. Everyone knows this. I've learned, especially in Zane tells me all the time. I talk to that guy daily. You think everyone knows what you know, and it's like, why would I teach that? It's common. But like what you just said isn't common, and it is like most people don't even know what a feature or a benefit is, or a problem and a solution, right? That's like pretty basic for us. But at the same time, when you're getting into filmmaking and you're able to sell an advertisement or get an advertisement created that will sell a product in a way that is speaking to a human, that like causes that feeling of missing out or needing that product. The psychology of advertising is amazing, and that's why I wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, of course.
And you probably learned a ton of that at Creatively too.
Yeah, Creatively, they definitely had like a very specific formula,
Totally.
that they definitely went for to kind of grab attention.
Yeah.
And mostly it was like very bright images, like
Humor.
humor, something with like the first like 5 seconds just to pull people in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry to sidetrack you on
No,
that.
that's okay.
But now bringing it back to like you jumping into your career right now, like you were in advertising, but then you decided to go, you were always creating content. And I know we're kind of talking about your journey right now, but then that led you to where you are at now, which is a cinematographer. And how did you get into like actually being a cinematographer, kind of transitioning from advertising?
Yeah. So when I was in my program, I think I was just kind of experimenting with the different roles on set to kind of find what really clicked with me the most. Yeah. And for a long time, I thought I was going to be an editor because I think I just, growing up, was always editing the projects. I knew that and stuff. But when I started getting on set and our program happened to have like a red dragon, it was like kind of newish at the time, it was kind of cool to say like, we got a movie camera, Yeah. So we had that and like some like Sigma Cine lenses. And just being on set and like starting to like shoot people's projects, I think that's really when I fell in love with like cinematography.
Yeah.
And I'd always loved it, just as like a filmmaker in general, like watching movies growing up. I really, appreciated like a good shot and like what it was saying. And I think it was in that program though in advertising that finally kind of clicked for me.
Yeah.
There's also another cool moment too when they had this DP named Paul Myers come to our class. Cool. And he's now in the ASC, he's like the best of the best, and all he does is shoot commercials, but he creates like these amazing cinematic like films essentially for these products. And I was just like, what? Like I want to do that. Like that looks way cool. Yeah. And
So currently right now, what are you doing in your career?
Yeah. So right now in my career, just about like 2-3 months ago, I went freelance as a cinematographer. I was in-house at an agency for a while, but now freelancing it. And
cool. An agency that will be unnamed.
An agency that will be unnamed.
Even though we've already said that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just threw it under the bus.
You're good, man. You're good.
Holy.
Yeah.
Bro. Let's just start off with that shot. Will you rewind that? In fact, that's literally almost like the image that is our logo. This would have been AM, correct? At the Bonneville Salt Flats.
This is actually PM. We were at a Buffalo Island. Yeah,
it looks just like the Salt Flats.
It does kind of. Yeah,
that image that I use as the backdrop.
Oh, no way.
Similar. Would that see that?
Hey, yeah, that is a lot like it.
That's
like
AM.
But
shot with a drone, so it's a little higher.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we need to just throw up a filmmaker's journey right there. Beautiful, man. So this is your demo reel.
Yes.
Tell us about what's going on here.
Yeah, so I think this year's demo reel was kind of a compilation of projects. And there were a few projects that I shot kind of like at the tail end of college that I'm still quite proud of, but also like a little mix of some of the work that I've been doing when I was with that agency in-house. And And, you know, there's a couple of other little projects in there, like a music video, some short films. But for the most part, it is like all commercials. There's been some stuff that I've done with our local NBA team, the Jazz.
Yeah.
And they're always such a pleasure to shoot for.
That's cool that you work with the Jazz. Like, how does that come about?
Yeah, so
You got a relationship with somebody?
my roommate in college,
Oh,
he was
cool.
also studying advertising and went to go work for them as like their video guy.
Nice.
And so he's hired me off and on as like a freelancer, but
Very
it
cool.
was mostly just kind of on the weekends. But now it's like, hey, I'm available whenever you want me. And so
Totally.
he's got me on a project next week, and I'm super stoked for
that's
it.
so cool. And it's, so much about who you know in this
Yeah.
industry, right?
Totally is.
That's such a cool opportunity. I think just to say that you're working for the Jazz or doing something for Jazz elevates your status.
right.
Crazy.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
That's really cool, man. And so you're currently freelancing and looking for gigs.
Yeah, freelancing, looking for gigs, you
Do
know.
you do anything yourself? Like, when I say that, like, are you looking for clients? Do you like just want to be hired as a director of photography or
Mhm.
camera op? Like, where are you at right now? What kind of gigs are you looking for, I guess?
Yeah, I would definitely say mostly as just like a director of photography.
Cool.
Kind of building those connections with directors here locally has definitely been like my focus.
Nice.
Yeah, I have noticed though that as I've talked to like certain agencies, there's definitely like a need for people who can both direct and shoot.
Yeah.
You know,
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper. Yeah, exactly.
Running an agency, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I don't hire you anymore, Zane. You don't shoot. Just kidding. I hire him too much.
Zane's great. Love Zane. Yeah, you know, that's definitely something that I've kind of put like some thought towards. You know, I have my own little production company that's mostly just kind of for just, you know, separating my person from any sort of work I do. But I've definitely kind of put some thought into like, oh, maybe I should try to kind of fill that gap in the market, and I've like talked with some agencies about that. And yeah, it definitely seems like there's kind of some interest. You know, I think people are starting to kind of shift to wanting cheaper solutions, you know, and I think we're going to figure that out, you know, as our industry changes.
Unfortunately. That's the case, man. And running this company for 5 years now, it's like, I remember when I started, I was kind of going after the Harman, the Chamber. I shouldn't say I'm going after them. I was basically undercutting what they were doing because I was able to come in and do it all.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I can direct, I can DP, I can edit,
Uh-huh.
I can run the whole set with like a crew of 2 people and do essentially the same quality. It's just way more work on my part and super stressful. So it was kind of like exciting to go down that route. And then it was like, this is dumb, man.
Yeah.
Like it's hard, but then it's not scalable.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing I learned as I built this. I have to delegate. But the unfortunate thing about that, like you said, agencies need to make money and they need to have good margins, and the more people you hire, the less the company makes, and it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
So I hate that it's a thing. But if you can just sell the big ticket item, then you're good. I want to know how Creatably was selling those freaking packages, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So crazy, so much.
I'm not the guy to ask. I don't know.
I won't ask. But anyway, so let's dial it back to when it started for you.
Mhm.
Have you always been a creative? Did it start somewhere that you were like, I want to be a videographer? It sounds like you loved the movies.
Mhm.
Did you have a young Asher moment that was like, I love this? Or was it did it just kind of unfold without you really even pushing towards it?
Yeah, I think it definitely unfolded, you know, kind of without me pushing towards it, like you said.
Yeah.
I think I really fell in love with movies when I was a younger kid, just hanging out with my dad. He's an engineer, but he took a like intro to film class when he was in college, and I think it kind of helped spark a love for, you know, movies, and then also just, you know, art in general.
Yeah.
But he really exposed me to like a lot of classics like Bridge on the River Kwai and Seven Samurai, and some of the ones he grew up with, like the original Blade Runner movie.
Yeah.
And I think just seeing those and kind of seeing like this history of like storytelling, I think really kind of captured my interest.
Yeah.
But what first got me into like filmmaking was skateboarding. When I was in middle school, I was just kind of briefly into skateboarding, and I would watch these skate films online and see like these pro skaters doing these cool compilations of, you know, their best tricks and set to like really rad music. And our family had just then like gotten like a little video camera and an iMac, and I had kind of been experimenting with it, and I was like, oh wait, maybe I can probably make these, you know. And so I started like filming myself making these videos, and I quickly found out that I was a lot better at the video than I was at skateboarding.
Nice.
And you know, the skateboarding kind of fell away in high school, but I stuck with the filmmaking.
Cool.
And you know, in high school, just made, you know, little short films with my friends and family, and I'm sure they're floating around the internet
Just
somewhere.
a hobby at that point. Just fun.
Exactly.
And around
yeah.
that time was this? I'm just trying to gauge the camera you were using.
Oh yeah, it was a flip video camera. Yeah.
And so was it DV tapes or was it?
No, so it was like an early digital. It was
Cool.
probably about the size of like kind of like a modern smartphone,
Yeah.
and it had like a little USB stick that would pop out and you could plug it into your computer.
Nice.
And yeah, so that was kind of like what I was working with.
What were you editing on?
iMovie.
iMovie.
Yeah, iMovie,
Wow.
just all free
For you.
software. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I wasn't smart enough to pirate, you know, whatever. all the other
Yeah,
more
you had to
expensive
like
software.
actually download the software versus just having a subscription.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
you have to renew it and put the CD-ROM in and update it. Yeah.
Oh
crazy,
yeah,
guys.
yeah. Da Vinci, man. That's why I'm all
Yep.
Da Vinci.
That's cool. About DaVinci, everyone keeps trying to convert me.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever done Adobe Premiere?
Yeah, no, I worked when I was in college. I worked for a TV station, and I edited in Premiere, and that's kind of
Cool.
what trained me on that.
I'll
And I
just
think,
switch to DaVinci. Convince me.
yeah, to switch to Convinci.
Did you ever edit on DaVinci, JT?
Yeah,
It's like I can do it in Premiere. I know what I need to do, and it's so annoying. I
Right.
tried to convert, and I couldn't.
Yeah. You know, I think once you find your flow, it really doesn't matter too much what tool you're using and stuff. But I mostly just use it for those amazing color features and stuff. I just feel like Premiere hasn't really caught up with that. So
I have an opinion on it.
yeah.
Yes, because I can color
Oh,
really well with Premiere, and
Nice.
it's just a different tool. And I have a friend, James Terry.
Yeah.
So he's like, "No, dude, DaVinci, bro, you can't do it." And I'm like, "I promise," and I'll do it. And it's
Okay.
there's just ways. It's just a different way. It's just like editing with the different tools, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can't really speak to that honestly because I've never colored in DaVinci. But at the same time, I can get the looks I want. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Show me.
Yeah, for sure. Like we were just actually editing a Breaking Bad skit for Bullfit. It's one of our clients. And you know how Breaking Bad, the scene with Tuco in the junkyard car place, and he pulls up with the bag. He's like, here you go. He's like, tight.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did that with the Bullfit pre-workout, and we wanted it to look like the Bullfit scene. And yeah, I was able to dial it in, all the different tools and the ways to do it. And I'd just be curious to like compare that experience with the experience in Premiere and see if we could pull that off. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool to actually have you look at it since you color.
Yeah.
And just
I'd
be
love
like,
that.
oh, I see how you do this.
Yeah.
Premiere is awesome. Don't worry about that. It won't pick it up.
Okay, cool.
Cool, man. Sorry, I cut you off as far as like the DaVinci Premiere thing.
It's all good.
But you were in middle school and then high school. You fell away from skateboarding. Kind of what happened from there?
Yeah, just started making little short films with my friends. You know, I would go on YouTube and just watch a lot of like filmmaking tutorials, like Film Riot, I think was like a really big one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think even though I didn't really know how to pull off a lot of like the effects and stuff that they had in those videos, it just taught me a ton about like, all the different tricks that you can do.
Yeah.
And I think it really kind of got me excited about it. But again, it was always just like, oh, this is just a hobby. And I thought I was just gonna be like my dad, join the Navy, become an engineer. That was that was the path. That's what I thought. And I was taking like some kind of pre-engineering courses in high school through like this little local technical college.
Yeah.
And then I think I just had to realize that I wasn't for me. I think there were a lot of things I liked, but for the most part, I was just couldn't really get into it. Like I didn't think about it when I didn't need to think about it. And
you weren't obsessed with it.
Right. Exactly.
And you probably were obsessed with shooting things. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
So you stuck with it.
Totally. And but I was in my senior year of high school. I took a broadcasting class, and I had this really great teacher that pushed me to enter like this local film festival that was just for high schoolers, and ended up doing it on a whim and ended up winning, which was really fun.
Oh, way cool.
Yeah, and I think it was just like that was like the inspiration for me to. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can wow, you found that. Dude,
This
what?
guy, man.
Dude, yeah, it was like nothing crazy,
It's like,
but
this
it
is
was
out
like,
there?
yeah, I know, right?
You realize how Googleable you are.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, no, it was it was kind of like this semi self-autobiographical tale about a guy failing to ask a girl out to prom, you know.
Dude, this is very Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah, dude,
Just
so Napoleon Dynamite. I
Center frame.
loved Wes Anderson and all that stuff, you know. No idea what I was doing, but I think it was just because like the film itself was like, you know, set in a high school, cast with high schoolers, and so like it wasn't trying to be more than what it was, and so people could laugh at it and had fun with it. And yeah, so it's, you know, it's nothing amazing, but it was definitely.
How did you wire the style? What's inspired this? This is definitely a style.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, Wes Anderson was definitely like a huge influence. I think
look at that pan.
Yeah,
nice.
I watched like I think Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, cool.
And then I think at the time too, Casey Neistat was also like a big influence.
Same.
Yeah, I think he just started doing his daily vlogs and stuff, and you know his stuff is like really rough around the edges, you know, and I think that's like what made it so kind of like inspirational, was because like, oh cool, like even though there was a lot of work that went into it, it made you think, oh yeah, I could totally do this, you know. And anyways, so
was it soft on purpose?
Definitely not. Definitely not, you know.
That guy's in focus.
Yeah.
There. No, I knew it diary, right? So I did the same thing in high school. I shot. That's actually where I fell in love with film, was in my news class, and we would just create news skits.
Oh, that's awesome.
Put them up on Fridays, and very similar to this. I know exactly, like you would die if you saw mine. So we get to poke fun at you right now, but anyway.
Yeah. That's still crazy.
Good pull, man.
I'm very impressed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So continue through high school, and then kind of that transition to whatever else.
Yeah. So I think winning that, you know, Little Film Festival kind of gave me like that confidence that like, oh, maybe like we can do something with this, you know? And so I went into college with the thought that like, okay, I want to get into filmmaking, but I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. I'm not entirely sold on like the film program. And so I found the advertising program at my school and applied, luckily got in, and then just started learning from all the upperclassmen in the program. They really taught me a ton. And I think then also just picking up the camera and shooting myself taught me so much. Like there's a little local rental house around here that doesn't ask for insurance and stuff, and so it was great for us filmmakers. It was cheap, and we could, you know, experiment with all different types of lights and stuff, you know. And I remember renting like an HMI, and thankfully I was wearing gloves because I like burnt like the tips of like the gloves like into the light, and I was just like, oh dude,
it gets so hot.
Yeah, I know. So a lot of trial and error of just like, you know, doing something. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And
I'm sure putting your footage into the editing bay, you're like, what the freak?
Yeah, dude.
I tell people, my saying is, be steady. If you think you're steady, you're not.
Yeah.
So be more steady. Because, dude, I can't tell you, like, even just barely, we just shot something on Friday for FLF, and it was like, I have not run a Ronin or a glide cam in so long. Yeah. And just popped it on the Ronin and did a shot through here, and it's like, that's so money, it's so good. And I threw it into the edit. I'm like, dang, it's not. It's a little bumpy. But through a lot of editing, we cleaned it up. So
yeah.
Anyway.
No, I totally feel that, man.
Editing your own footage, make sure you do it, because if you don't, you're not going to be good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah. And then you also kind of learn like what sometimes like you think you have it on set, and then you're like, oh wait, no, I should have gotten another angle of this or something. So we shot a lot of stuff that was definitely inspired by that guy I was telling you about, Paul Myers, and a lot of other really kind of cinematic, like, you know, commercial filmmakers. Yeah. And I graduated with a portfolio and started shopping it around. I graduated 2021, so it was kind of peak COVID. I think, like, you know, things had shut down, they opened up, and then they were shut down again whenever we were talking with recruiters. Because my plan was, I thought, okay, cool, I'm going to move to like either LA or New York, and I'm going to go work for one of these agencies as like an internal like filmmaker. Yeah. And yeah, but those opportunities just kind of dried up. I think COVID really affected a lot of those agencies and stuff, and so they were just looking for kind of the core roles. So I started looking around, and, you know, I did some kind of like part-time freelance, part-time in-house and stuff. I worked for like a sunglass company remotely in California. I worked for like an art dealer for a little bit, just kind of interviewing artists and stuff. And I was trying to do like some freelance on the side, but then once I started working for the agency that I was at for a little bit, am I allowed to say the name or?
100%. I've already said it.
Okay,
not
cool.
Cutting any of that.
All right, just making sure.
Well, pretty raw, and like, although we have said some things that I've been asked to cut out. So if you want me to cut something out, just say We just cut that out. I will. But no, you can totally say anything that you feel like you want to say.
Okay.
The gloves are off.
All right. So I got connected with an old friend that was working for an agency called Creatably. It was like a little boutique agency. And they were looking for an in-house cinematographer. They were pumping out enough ads that they needed somebody that they could rely on to get their consistent look every single time. And so I went, and I talked to them, and I think they just offered me a job right on the spot. It was really great. Working with Creatably was a really, really awesome time. I was there for 2 years, and I think we shot well over like 60 commercials together. And I think that was the time that really helped me elevate from beyond like having that confidence to go from like a student kind of film set era to like, professional set where we have like professional freelancers that have been in the industry for a lot longer than I have and are really good at their jobs. And just give me an opportunity to like talk to them and learn from them, from gaffers or production designers, directors.
Cool.
They were kind of, maybe it was good for me. Maybe it wasn't that good for them to be forced to work with this new guy, but it definitely gave me that confidence and really helped me like elevate, I think, my work to that next level and just be confident in a set environment,
Totally.
Like I almost think of it was kind of like my MFA in a way, like I was getting paid to do it, which is even better.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And in this process, even from high school all the way through college, were you thinking you wanted to just do like, you may not have even known what a director of photography was, but did you want to go down that route, or were you thinking director, editor? What was like your path? Yeah.
So I think I thought I was like a director DP for like a long time. And for a little bit after I had graduated, but I think then I just kind of talking with some friends and I said, I'm not really a director, am I? Right? They're like, no, we think of you more as like a DP.
Why? I'm curious how you determine that. Cause a lot of people could listen to that and be like, oh, I'm not a director.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What was that made you think that?
I think I was just always so interested in like the technical side of it. Like obviously like the storytelling is very important as well. And that's also what drew me to it. But I was just always interested in solving these technical problems and like bringing these kind of images to life. Like a lot of my portfolio, there's like no dialogue. It's just like images of people doing things, And I think I also had like 1 or 2 experiences where I got to just be the director. And I realized, oh man, I kind of miss that camera. I kind of miss like being able to operate. And, I found that like, even though there were certain aspects of directing that I liked, like having control over the process and the story, I think like working with actors, I was like, I'm not as drawn to this. I don't really feel like I'm as good as this yet, And so I think at that point I said, you know what, I should just like commit to being a director of photography. Yeah. And
so it was less about being good or not good. It was more about you just loved the technical side. You loved to create the image. Not that you couldn't direct, but you just liked this side of it more.
Yeah, I think I think that's definitely a good way to put it. And I think maybe eventually I might be interested in like directing again one day. But for now, I really am just kind of happy to be a DP and like use my sensibilities to help, directors achieve their projects and their ideas.
Totally.
It's hard to explain. I just kind of...
There's less pressure too, because then it's like the director's going to kind of paint the vision. You create the vision. And if it doesn't work out, it's on the director, not you. The director will blame you, but no one else will blame you.
That is a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah.
So then I kind of don't want to cruise too far ahead, because I know that kind of brings us to now. When you were doing these other little gigs, other agencies you were saying that you worked at, were they agencies or were they other? Either
they were
Sunglasses Company, and there was a couple others.
Oh, it was a sunglass company, and then there was like an art dealer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were just shooting and editing and.
Yeah, just like shooting and editing. I'd probably call it more like videography. Yeah. Just I would travel around and interview the artists that they represented. And I just remember just kind of feeling like a little depressed during that time. Like man, like I know I can do so much more. Yeah. And so when the Creatably opportunity came along, it was just like, wow, this is amazing. Like I'm finally getting an opportunity to really use my skills and grow.
Cool. Did you have anything happen in that time before Creatably that like stood out to you as maybe just a story of something that went bad, or that you were like, I don't like this? Did anything kind of stand out to you in that time?
Yeah, I think I can remember like there was like this interview we were doing with this really old artist, and I could tell that she just like did not want us there. And I think like their expectations were like really low. Like they thought I was just going to like bring a light and a camera and a microphone. And I had like, I was setting up like, like 5 lights and like, like doing multiple cameras, and it's all by myself, I'm like just sweating profusely in her old attic that's like horribly insulated and like dragging the stuff up like 3 flights of stairs and stuff. And I just remember thinking like, man, like am I doing too much? You know what I mean? Like at what point do I just need to like sit back and like, but I think that was just really like the sign that I needed to move on.
Were you doing too much, do you think, when you think back to those shoots where you're like, I could have done way less? Or how much did you know about lighting people at that point?
Yeah, I think I knew like kind of like some basic like 3-point lighting.
Yeah.
And I think like I had like a decent sensibility for like lighting people, but I don't know. I think I would do more now.
Would you? You're like, you'd do me, but you would obviously have help.
Right, I'd have help
as much as you could by yourself.
Yeah.
There's so many times that I did so much by myself that a lot of these people that I'm hiring now, I look at it, I'm like, you're so lucky you have help.
Yeah.
I'd travel all over and set up an interview.
Yeah.
And I would bring the Rhino dolly.
Yeah.
I would set that up as a camera, and that's running on auto while I'm interviewing. So it's a 3-camera setup plus audio. So I put headphones on, I push play, make sure it's set up to track. Then I've got my A cam and my B cam, making sure everything's rolling, staying in focus, and trying to be focused on an interview.
Dude, wow.
It's tough. Did you ever do anything? I mean, it sounds like
never at that level. I mean, like I would have like 2 cameras running and kind of watch it, and I'd be like adjusting levels on this and stuff. And typically sometimes I'd have to interview, but luckily I'd bring on somebody from the agency to sometimes interview the artist. No, I never had the self-automated slider. That would have been really awesome though.
It was all through Nomadic. I was doing this thing called Life on the Move, and I went to the Philippines, went to Florida, and we would just find these people, and I'd just go out there with all my stuff and set it up, and it always worked out. Like I actually never had anything go bad. We've shown the Siargao video when I was in the Philippines, but it was so hard. And so when I see people doing things now and they have help, I'm like, and it's hard for them, I'm like, you don't even know. I'm like one of those old timers that are like, back in my day, I used to do this all by myself. So cool. So then when you transitioned to Creatably, at that point, when you say that you were like the new guy coming in, what role were you playing? Were you actually the cinematographer right out of the gate? Were you working for someone that was training you? Like you had the experience? Tell me about just that introduction into that agency.
Yeah, so when I was brought on to Creatably, I was kind of brought on as mainly a cinematographer, but sometimes like a producer for really small shoots. So I would produce and shoot. I wouldn't direct, but I would do all the work on the front end to make the shoot happen, because they were at the time just starting to sell like smaller packages of ads and stuff, the ads that they could make for below what they normally shot for, because they would get a lot of people that would come in and be interested in working with them, but they didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend. Yeah. And so originally I think they brought me on to shoot just the small stuff. But I think I'm guessing they must have seen something, or maybe the budget needed it. But I think one of my first 2 weeks there, I shot one of their bigger commercials, and luckily left a good impression. And then I just started shooting all of their ads. Nice. And I think the producing started to get a little overwhelming. It can be kind of hard whenever you're like trying to shoot, then you're also like trying to track down somebody to like sign a release form or like order lunch for the crew and stuff like that. And so they brought in another producer, and then I was just the DP, and it was a dream. It was really awesome. Just getting to like clock in every day, and then I would just like get ready for every shoot. I would like design all the lighting diagrams in Illustrator, and like go on scouts and do all the stuff. Could talk directly with the producers, and beg for a little more money.
Yeah, always
get the lenses you want.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's like really focused on DPing, and like to be able to go in every day and just focus on that thing. And did you edit it all as well?
No, I didn't edit. I would definitely bug our editors though to color some of the projects. Of
course,
I definitely kind of annoyed them.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very focused. That's pretty rare, I think, nowadays to be that focused and be able to just have a full-time gig where you're shooting on the shoots, but then you've got so much pre-production as well. Is there a part of that pre-production that it sounds like you were super dialed, where when you show up on the set you already have like your lighting setups?
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah.
Did you obviously there's a there's a plan, you're being prepared. Was that necessary? Do you feel like you need to do that, or was it like I want to do it? Like, what was that kind of pre-production process as a DP like?
Yeah, I think even though we definitely didn't need it, I loved just getting to like think through things.
Yeah, because then you're going to come up with better ideas when you're on set.
Exactly, right? You know, I was listening to an interview with a DP named Ollie Miller, and he does a really, really amazing commercials. And he talks about how on every project he does like a cinematography, like mood board or like look deck, even if the agency like didn't ask for it, like he just needs to do it for himself.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of the thought process with me. But it ultimately also just like helps you save, I think, a lot of money, because like you go through and you're like, oh wait, I only need these lights, you know what I mean? I don't need to like just kind of generalize and get all of this other stuff. It also has helped us run like better sets. You know, I think people are starting to push for 10-hour days, which I think is fantastic, you know, and having a plan, I think, definitely helps you achieve that.
Yeah.
And it would also help us like block shoot and stuff, so that way we could just get as much as we possibly could out of one angle before moving on to something else. And because we were so organized and we knew exactly where the lights were going to go and like who was going to say what at what time, we were able to, you know, shoot a little out of order, but you know, make it seem cohesive in post.
So talk me through just a shoot. Like you get a project.
Yeah.
You're the DP. Take us through that whole process as a director of photography.
Yeah.
For those that just don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Like what do you do from day one all the way to, honestly, when you get that last shot, the martini?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell us all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll ask questions along the way.
No, it's all good. So on projects, I think the better prepared you can be, like, you know, the better a time you're going to have, the more calm you can be. And so that's definitely like my main focus whenever I first get a project. I love to like sit down and chat with the director. I'll read the script and I'll already kind of have the images coming into my head, but I also want to make sure that I can respect, you know, a director's vision. And so I'll try to make sure I can meet with the director at least once, maybe a couple times, just to talk through the script and kind of see like what visual influences they're going for. And, you know, sometimes I think every director is a little bit different. Like some have like, you know, they're very visually heavy and they have exact images they have in mind that they want to do, and that's great. And sometimes like they're just more like, I just kind of want like a feeling, you know, like they're not super technically savvy, which is totally fine, you know, like that's what we're here for. And so once I kind of figure that out, then I'll go on the shot deck and just create like a board with like a bunch of images that I really like. I'll put them into like a Google Slides, send them off to the director, kind of see what they think. If the director's okay with it, sometimes I'll also show it to the agency and the client and just kind of get their approval on things and stuff. So make sure things move smoothly. And that's
so important, just because what I've learned, and it's similar to like just assuming people know what you're going to teach, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to assume people can see what you see.
Yeah.
Like we just can read something and paint a picture in our brain. Yeah. And it's like, of course they see that, but it's like so often that you're working with people that aren't creative. Not that that's a bad thing, but people that are more analytical or more business savvy. And you go to them and say, hey, here's the idea. And they're like, cool. And it's like, they just don't see it. Right.
Yeah.
And so to do that whole pre-production, I've learned that even just showing an inspired image from someone else and just being like, this is what I'm thinking. Then it's like, they can see it. But before just talking through it, they can't see it. And that's something to learn, is just to not assume that someone can see what's in your brain, especially with the director, because they might see something one way. And me and Zane we've done that where we just show up to a shoot and we're like button heads, because it's like, this is what I thought. And he's like, this is what I meant. Yeah. And it's like, but then we always come together, and that's why that pre-production is so important.
Yeah. 100%. And I feel like it also gives you the opportunity to kind of like push boundaries a little bit more, because like I feel like if you're up front with like, I know this is the style you were thinking, but if we were to go this way, I think it could be a little bit better. I feel like those conversations are better received on, you know, pre-production, because it's free
than on set.
Yeah, they're not losing any money, you know. Like I think like there was a recent commercial that we did for a company, and it was pretty intense because the owner it was a smaller company, but it was like one of many that this billionaire owned. And she was going to be in the ad. And so she had this team that, you know, had a very specific idea of what she should like look like and all this other things. I remember like pulling images from like this Duracell ad that I liked. It was shot in a grocery store, which is where we were shooting. And, I think typically whenever like you
Who
see...
was this for? Can we look at it?
Yeah. Actually, no, it's not done yet.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. This
yeah.
is a recent one.
Yeah. So it was for, if you've ever seen, there's a movie called Joy that came out in 2015 with Jennifer Lawrence. And it's about this woman, and she was an entrepreneur and kind of her rise to fame. And anyway, so we were filming The Joy, like the woman that Jennifer Lawrence was playing.
Nice.
And stuff. And she was really awesome. She was this woman in her 60s from New York, just really, really cool.
Cool.
But like, they became billionaires for, a reason. They're like very, very specific about a lot of things and stuff. So,
Very hands-on.
very hands-on. So like, I think as much communication as possible was like really key in that moment. And so we, but your question though was about like was it about the advertising, like
just the process of that you would go through as a
director? Oh, you're good.
photographer.
Sorry, I meant like the project that you asked if we could pull it up. But were you talking about the Duracell one or the one that I shot? Because we could pull up the Duracell ad if you kind of want to get an idea. You didn't shoot that one? I didn't shoot that one. No, this is from like a guy named Oren.
That was inspired.
Yeah. But that
one inspired what you shot. It's okay.
Okay.
I think let's just focus on this shoot that you did.
Gotcha. Sorry.
And then we'll keep going.
Okay. Cool.
So
I liked it because it had this kind of unique look to it. Like normally, like when you think of a grocery store, you think kind of like white and bright and like clean. But this one, like the grocery store itself was like kind of blue. And then everybody else that had like these kind of warm lights on them with like these kind of mixtures of like warm and blue hair lights. And it looked really, really cool. It had like a really cool contrast to it. And I was like, I feel like if I just showed up on the day and did this, they would probably be a little freaked out by it because I know it would be good, but this is something that is very new to them.
Yeah.
And so we sent off those stills, and I just like crossed my fingers and hoped that it would work out. Yeah. And it did. They approved it, and they were
on location and actually shot some pictures, or were you just shooting pictures on off location?
So we just grabbed screenshots of that ad.
Got it.
And said like we want it to look like this. Yeah,
totally.
And got agency and client approval, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. Nice. I'm stoked for this. And when we showed up on the day, I was able to like push it, I think, to a new level because with Creatably it was really great, but they definitely focus on very bright visuals, and I think some of my sensibilities are a little more like contrasty, a little more moodier. I think it's as DPs we all kind of want that.
Of course.
And so just by having that communication up front and explaining why I think it would still work for like viewer retention and all this other stuff, they were able to approve it. And once we got that approval, then I started kind of breaking down the images. I found like some behind the scenes pictures online and just kind of saw the type of lights they were using, how they did it, how they kind of built in like certain structures into the set to like hide things. And so we kind of kept that in mind. And so a lot of pre-production up front. I had all my lighting diagrams like printed out, and I gave them to my gaffer and key grip, and had just so we all were on the same page of where we needed to be, and they could start setting up certain areas of the grocery store before we got ready. There's also like a tech scout that we did the day before, and we had to talk with the owner of the grocery store just to kind of figure out like where the breaker box was if we blew a fuse, and like how we could turn off certain lights so we could control things, and also what we could move and what we couldn't move. Just kind of certain obstacles we had to work around. Then I also like take my phone, and I have an app called CAD Rage. Love CAD Rage. Just enter in all the camera and lenses that I'll be using, and I'll find like every single angle and image that we're going to use. In this instance too, the agency requested that we also get blank images so they can like add people in, like stick figures or hand drawn or something like that, just if they needed to alter things.
Dude, this is unbelievable how much you are allowed to do before shoot, because we literally rarely ever do pre-production because we move so fast. But I can absolutely see the value of like what you're doing, and how what I always tell people is, even if you're just an outline or it's just a quick storyboard, like how much that helps when you're on set, because there's nothing worse than being on set, feeling pressure and not being prepared. Been there, and it's like you just kind of have to do it. But when you come up with a plan and it's been approved and you show up, all the stress is gone, and then you can kind of play a little bit. So when things happen, you're like, oh, let's actually try this thing I actually hadn't considered, or let's do this light, because you saw what you were going to do firsthand.
Exactly.
And it helps you be a little more fluid when you're actually on the set, but still get what you need to get.
Yeah, totally agree.
A lot of pre-production. Like, we need to raise our budgets. It'd be sweet. But it's also like a joy for someone like yourself and anyone to have time to prep.
Yeah, totally.
how much better the product comes out when you do.
100%. Yeah, I listen to the Deakins podcast a lot, Team Deakins,
I
and
haven't heard about.
yeah. So Roger Deakins and his wife James, they just interview like cinematographers and other crew members
Cool.
that they've kind of worked with, and they just give like world class advice because they're like the best.
Yeah.
And but they always just talk about pre-production and how much time they spend. I mean, obviously, with a film, you definitely need like more pre-production, but I think there's no reason why we can't do it for our small commercials.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, like you said, oftentimes like that's not an option. Like I can remember like once we did all the pre-production for something, and then the night before, the client demanded that the location be changed, and it was changed. And then just on the day, we were just off the cuff kind of figuring it out, Wow. But I think even like doing pre-production for something that we didn't even like a location we didn't even shoot at, I think still kind of helped us, because then we had like kind of a plan, and we just need to like mold it to like this new place that's way different, and the sun's going to be in different spots and what. But it, I think it still ended up working out though.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then, all the pre-production, what's the next step? Like once you have that approved in the day of the shoot, I guess, is there anything else in there, or
I mean,
it's time to shoot?
Yeah, like we'll kind of work through like what gear we'll need and stuff like that, But on the set day though, I think if the plan is there, then everything just goes pretty smoothly. I think as a DP, when I was first starting out, I would definitely get really, really stressed, and I think people could like see that and like feel that. And I think all those reps and that time at Creatably really helped me learn to just like kind of relax and realize that it's okay.
And build confidence.
Just
know that you're here and it's going to turn out great.
Exactly.
That's the hardest thing, is when you don't know for sure. And that's the part of the beginning, is like showing up and like, I hope this is good, and it turns out good, and you do it enough times and you just, okay, I can relax because it's going to be good. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And I think like having that confidence, I think one of the best compliments I ever got was actually from that same client that changed the location. I can remember it was like a stressful 2 days of just trying to like off the cuff shoot a lot of these scenes and stuff. But I can remember like the client that had been quite difficult the entire time came up to me though specifically and was like, "Hey, I really love working with you. Like most of these DPs, they're all divas and da. And I was like, dude, I wanted to like freak out the entire time. Like, thank you.
That's more important to me than anything. Is the client to be stoked about working with us.
Right.
It's like we're friends.
Yeah.
Because there's so often in our industry, just people have bad experiences.
Yeah.
We're all about longevity, and we're creating relationships that last longer than just one shoot. And so that's actually really cool. And it speaks a lot to who you are for someone to say that, because I imagine it was probably similar with every shoot.
Yeah.
Even if they hated the director or the AD, I like Asher.
That's my
that's
hope.
what I've heard from everybody. That Asher's a good hang.
That's my hope. I hope I'm a good hang. At least may not like my work, but I'm a good hang.
That's more important, because you can learn how to do better work.
Right. Exactly.
You can get better, Asher. I promise.
That's my thought. Yeah.
Did you have like an AC on any of these, or were you actually rigging the cameras, all that stuff?
Yeah. So it kind of varied. I would at the least I would typically have an AC, a gaffer, and a key grip.
Cool.
Sometimes
were they contracted?
Yeah, they were contracted.
That's cool.
Yeah, they were contracted. Yeah.
They were with Tenzin.
I love Tenzin. We're with Tenzin all the time.
He's like episode like 12. So
oh yeah.
He came here. I don't know if you saw it. It went super viral. But when I painted the psych red, did you ever see that?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
So he was on that shoot, and I painted it red for his shoot that he was on.
Yeah.
And it turned out so cool. But that's when I met Tenzin. And
that's awesome.
Now I see him everywhere.
Oh, Tenzin's killing
it. He's the guy.
He's killing it. I mean, like, talk about somebody who like just leverage social media. Like
he's done a great job.
He's done a fantastic job. I mean, he's great at what he does and was going to do great, otherwise. But I think I'm like, man, he really is like just taking advantage of all the tools available to him. And
he's so smart, and he's so funny, and he's really cool.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
And that's, dude, it's the trend. But every episode, people would rather hire people that are awesome than people that are really good. Yeah. Even though hopefully you can get both.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get both,
So.
Yeah. So I hire Tenzin a lot.
Cool.
I have one of my ACs that I hire a lot. His name is Lucas Barros.
Haven't heard of him.
Yeah. He's really great. He's definitely like, I would say transitioning into becoming more of a DP.
Cool.
But yeah, he's been my AC for last like 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
We met like on like a short film. I was just gaffing it for a friend, and he was ACing for that same friend. And then I got a freelance gig that needed an AC, and I didn't really know anybody. So I hit him up, and we hit it off. And
cool.
Yeah.
And you have to like really enjoy the technical side of a camera to be AC.
Totally.
Because I came from a different route. Like I would say I I could care less about the tech.
Uh-huh.
More of the director side that well, I started as a DP. I don't know, I did both, but I just need a camera with a lens to get the image that I want. All the other stuff, because we would hire ACs at Devon Supertramp.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, so what filter do you want? And I'm like, brother. There's always Jameson too. If you ever worked with Jameson.
No, I don't think I have. Yeah.
He's a mystery box guy, but really good AC. And even like gaffers, and I'm DPing something for Devon.
Mm-hmm.
We were way in over our heads there, dude. We'd try to do these shoots and we'd hire these industry professionals, and we're these kids that have a big budget because of Devon. And we'd hire a gaffer, and he's like, so what are you thinking?
Yeah.
I'm like, and then they'd slowly realize I don't know a lot, but I can run a camera.
Oh, man.
And then it's like, what do you think? And they'd tell me.
Yeah.
So it was cool to learn that way. I'm pretty fortunate to be able to learn in that kind of environment. But sounds like you came from more of the technical side. Like you like that stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like a tech head. Like, I think there's some people that are really, really technical. I think I just like that mixture of like, solving creative problems with like some technical knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't think I could work as like an AC and stuff like that. That's why I hire Lucas and other ACs that I work with, because if there's a problem with the camera, there's a problem with something, I'm just like, here you go, I need you to figure this out.
Yeah.
Because I do not have time.
Is Josh Christensen. Shout out to
nice.
our boy. He's upstairs right now.
Uh-huh.
Anything goes wrong. Dude, I think I was shooting on a Canon R5C.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, where do you push record? So I'm like, Josh, show me how to use this camera, because I only use the R5.
Yeah.
But it's the same with like the Raptor. Like I'm kind of an old dog, and like I have what I had.
And
now I'm hiring people to do the things, and I'm kind of telling them. And so, like I said, I don't run Ronins very often anymore.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Like and they all laugh, and they just kind of embrace it now. It's just like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Will you guys do it for me?
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't like to.
Yeah.
So
totally with you on that. Yeah. I used to work a little bit as like an assistant colorist for a guy.
Cool.
And just like with image making, like, man, you can really, really get into like the science of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that stuff I could never do, man.
Yeah.
Like
I want to see it. I want it to look pretty.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So as for when you're at Creatably, does any of the shoots stand out as like one of your favorites and like something you're super proud of?
Yeah. I think one of the last commercials that I shot while I was there, we got to do. It's kind of like a parody of Lord of the Rings, or kind of like a spoof of it.
I've seen this, and I actually got targeted with an ad recently.
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Like literally, I think it was like when we were texting. The algorithm or Instagram was like, they've been talking, so I'm going to throw them this ad. And I've been seeing a couple of ads. I saw JT, aka Jordan, in one of them, and sent it to him. So I'm seeing more ads, I think, because I'm just talking to people that are coming from Creatively. So, but Ben's off the board. What's it called? The ad?
Yeah. So it's like on the top of my website. It's called Mountain Doom.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's basically like it's a comedy ad, like most Creatively ads. It just basically was about a guy, like basically like kind of like a Sauron spoof, like running like his evil company, and so his evil agency. And how Luminous, the brand, which is kind of like a fintech company around here, how they help him with, managing his warehouses and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyways, that's the cool part about it, though, is that we got to like really tap into the aesthetic of the original Lord of the Rings films. Yeah. Like we kind of got it right there.
Yes. These are the images I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah. Man,
beautiful.
It was so much fun. Thank you very much.
And you got to work with Shay. She's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, Shay Robbins. She's awesome.
Her and Liam are in like all of your guys.
Yeah. We had a run with Liam for quite a bit.
Yeah, I love that guy.
It was just so much fun. I mean, I grew up loving these films. I can remember watching them as a kid and stuff, and rewatch them like every Christmas or New Year's and stuff. And I think what was really fun about this one is that in Lord of the Rings, there's like any night scene, there's always just like these inexplicable like blue harsh backlights.
Where's that come from?
Yeah, exactly, right. But it looks great.
It's true. Yeah.
And so we did it at this one space that we needed like a place. So we couldn't do a company move because we only had one day to shoot this. We needed a place that had like a warehouse as well as like more of an office. And this place had like a really nice warehouse and like kind of an office.
Yeah.
And we converted like this room that really wasn't an office. It was kind of like just like an unused space, like at like that top right image where like he's like sitting behind like that Fire TV. I think it's like some like old like ventilation thing or something like that that they were currently trying to convert into like a bar. I don't know what it was, but it was very, very rough and industrial. And but we kind of pitched them on the idea of like, yeah, like this kind of like blue moonlight with like these orange fires. It creates like a nice contrast to look really good. And yeah, and I'm just really happy with how this one turned out. It was a lot of fun.
Out when you like were looking at the camera and you saw that image.
Oh yeah,
dang,
dude.
I'm good.
Exactly,
It
dude.
looks so cool. And then like that top left one, that streak of light.
Oh yeah,
That's definitely.
yeah. That was totally an
you had
accident too, because like we were just setting up like the backlight, that blue light that's hitting him, and then saw that, and my gaffer was like, "You want me to take that out?" And I was like, "Actually, I kind of like it. Like, you know, we kind of get some somewhat checkerboard going on where we have bright, dark, you know."
Is this one out yet?
Oh yeah, it is out. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I don't think it's been I'll upload it on YouTube yet, but I've seen it on like Instagram.
So did you guys shoot an ad for Creatably at the same time?
shoot an ad for Creatably?
Yeah.
Like internally or?
So I got an ad.
Yeah.
I got this served to me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw the hook.
Huh. Oh, cool.
As I think it was a Creatably ad for
Oh no.
them.
I don't think we filmed
I
it.
should have
Yeah.
looked into it.
Huh.
Because it looks just like this, and I thought it was your guys's. That's why I said I've seen this.
Nice. Yeah, so I really love this project. I think there was another project that I really loved when I was at Creatably. It was for it's called Alto IRA, and that one, it was like, you know, basically just telling you that you need to invest in crypto so that way, you know. So it's set like in like this far future high school reunion, and we kind of had to tap into this kind of Hunger Games like future look where it's like really fancy and stuff like that. Yeah, stuff like this. And so we didn't have like a ton of money, but we wanted to feel kind of weird and just
Hold on.
other world.
What is a ton of money? What is not a ton of money?
That's a good question. I actually don't remember what it was on this. I just remember like
Do you have a ballpark?
fighting for it. I think I want to say it was like under 30,000 or something like that. But
Like
I know a lot of that went.
$5K?
Yeah. I know a lot of it went
for
to
us.
like the location.
Totally.
Yeah, like getting like the high school. Anyways, but that stuff that we were filming in the gym, for like to kind of make it feel kind of futury and stuff, we just got like really cheap party streamers and just like taped them over like corner of the wall. And we only had enough money to get like certain sections. So if we would like turn the camera, we had to like strip them off and put them like farther down the wall and stuff like that. And I convinced them to let us shoot it on anamorphic lenses. And so, especially like on like these close-ups, we would get like these really, really crazy like bokeh in the background. And then because it's really light, you know, and there's a little bit of like AC going, you just kind of get these little twinkles going in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great, man.
Yeah.
So those are two of your favorites?
Yeah, I'd say those are probably two of my most recent favorites with Creatably.
Cool.
And
so tell me about your worst video.
my worst
Experience.
My worst experience.
Do you have one?
I think, yeah, it's tough because like there was the one where like the client changed like the location.
That one hasn't come out yet.
But I feel like it's still kind of turned out okay,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, I don't know if that one is out actually. But there was another one though that I remember was just like with the client, I think it was in like production hell for like, I don't know, over a year or something like that, or at least in post-production it was.
Man.
Yeah. I can remember it was for like some sort of, well, I won't say, but it was for a company, and I can remember the clients were like siblings, and they were like fighting with each other like the entire time, just yelling at each other. And I feel like on top of that, like I wasn't quite able to get the images that I wanted. I don't know, it was something about like the day that I was just like not quite happy with how things were turning out. And then we got like more of a time crunch too, because I was gonna like leave the country to go on vacation with my wife like right after like the shoot and stuff.
Dang.
And
yeah, that's
yeah. You know, I feel like I definitely just like put too much on my plate, and then on top of that, the client was also very specific and kind of difficult about.
Isn't it the worst too when you're on a set and you're just not seeing it, and you're like you're looking at an image. And if I don't have that feeling, it's like I know it's just not good. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, what is it? What do we need to change? And then, but when it does look good, it just speaks to you, and you're like, this is amazing. You kind of excited.
Yeah,
I love that feeling.
Yeah, totally agree.
Cool. So when you're on, I guess that was more specific to like the worst. I don't want to say the bad experience with a video, but like, what about when you've been on set as a DP and you've had a problem that's come up that you've had to solve on the whim? Do you have any good stories about just problem solving as a DP and telling people like what to do to fix that problem, or anything come to mind there?
Yeah. There was a ad that I shot for the Jazz, and it was with one of their sponsorships, which is like a Ford. And we were filming it with their mascot Jazz Bear up in like this cabin in February in Utah, so there's tons and tons of snow up a canyon.
Yeah.
And I can remember that there was just so many things that went wrong. Like we had like this vintage 80s Ford truck, and it got like stuck in the mud, and like we couldn't move it to the spot that we needed it to be at. We tried for hours and hours, and so we just had to pivot, do something else, And then like it would turn out that like we didn't have the right equipment for lighting and stuff. And okay, cool, we got to like pivot how we shoot the scene. And I think what kind of got them to hire me again because of that experience though was just like the attitude of like, yeah, okay, we'll figure it out. I feel like that's just like life in general. There's never like a straight path. Like I think for any sort of goal, like I feel like if there was, then we would all just take it and we'd all be filmmakers and successful and what have you, and I think having like that mentality on the macro and micro of like, there's never going to be a straight path. You have to be, willing to like reinvent yourself or reinvent the project or alter your plan and have like a good attitude about it. I think just kind of knowing that this will happen is like, gives you that confidence that when it comes up, you're not freaking out, you're not mad, because I've definitely heard of a lot of DPs that get like just furious and angry and just like super abusive to the crew when things like don't go their way or they can't quite get something exactly right. And I just don't want to do that, I feel like a lot of like our generation is definitely shifting away from that. I feel like that's definitely more of like a older school kind of mentality.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think just having like that, already knowing that things will go wrong, I think really helps you to just be calm and cool whenever it does, And
in that pre-production, avoid all the problems that could come up.
Yeah.
But when they do, dude, it's inevitable. You're going to get them. And having that good attitude, like you said, is going to get you the call back.
Yeah.
And not cracking under pressure. Maybe going into the bathroom and just coming out. Hey guys, this is just a problem. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. Definitely had those moments before. Yeah,
for sure. So as you are now transitioning to freelance, what's the next step for you? Like where do you see this heading in the next 5 to 10 years for you?
Yeah, totally.
What are your goals?
Yeah, I think as I've like been thinking about this, I think the most I can think of ahead is like 3 to 5 years is probably like that's like my max. Then I feel like, at least to me, like the path starts to curve and I can't quite see it. I think my two biggest goals now, I would love to start working internationally as a DP. I think I've started to get like some traction here, just kind of in the regional market, and it's been really fantastic. But I think my end goal, I'd love to just travel and be able to be based anywhere because people want to hire me to go work everywhere, I think that's definitely the goal, and I think that's something I'm going to try to get for in 3 to 5 years. But I think also in reflecting on this, I'm not just like a commercial maker, I'm also a filmmaker. And I think another big goal of mine is I want to be able to shoot a feature film within the next like 3 to 5 years. I had like this moment, I can't remember who said it, but somebody's like said like, you can't be a filmmaker that doesn't make films. And I was like, man, that really hit. Like I got into this because I love movies,
and you just cut me deep.
I don't know, I'm sure we all feel that way,
For sure.
Yeah.
I totally feel that though. And I think one of my goals is just to kind of speak to that is I would love, because I love to be, I actually didn't know this was a position until the 2 podcasts ago, Luke Johnson.
Oh yeah.
He was my most recent guest that just came out. He's a creative executive producer. I just thought there was just EPs, and but he's over all the creative. So I love that role. I love it because I can see what I want, but I like to put people like yourself in place to actually be the DP, be the director, and then just kind of give my my vision, but also still run a business but help with creative. I love that. And so one of my goals is to get to a point where I can have a TV show that I'm helping with, right? Where I'm the money and I'm like not controlling, but just helping with all the different pieces to create a cool story, and like taking someone like Zane's vision and giving it life.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs cash and everyone needs someone to back any idea. Anyway, I would love to get to that point. So I'm not going to discount it yet, but I like TV because I'd love to. The one, oh gosh, what's his name? The guy that did Yellowstone.
Was it
oil TV show?
Oh yeah,
in Texas.
it's not. I know you're talking about. He did
Taylor Sheridan.
Yes, yeah, he did like Sicario, Hell or High Water. Yeah.
So he's obviously a writer director, but he created these stories. I don't see myself as him, but I love what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
And I would love to do something similar and just create cool stories with other people and just put the right people in position. So
yeah,
not a feature, but TV show would be sick.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I mean,
Severance. Sorry.
Oh,
I'd love to create a Severance.
Love Severance. Oh my goodness, who didn't?
So good.
Yeah.
Just killed all the awards the other night.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
you were gonna
no. I was gonna say I think that's awesome. Like, I think it's so cool too. Like I was thinking about it the other day, like movies and TV, like they really are like kind of different like forms of art, but they're so cool. And I love to see like how TV has like progressed. In like the last like 10 or 15 years or so. Like. Yeah, the Severance is amazing. My wife and I are watching The Bear right now, getting into that. We're a little late.
Heard of that?
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
I've never seen it.
It's nice too, because like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
Just pop on an episode.
It's tough when you stretch to an hour at our age. It's like, it's getting a little late, honey. What's The Bear about? What platform is it on?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. And
okay, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's just like a guy who's like was a top chef at a restaurant, and then he moves back to take over his dead brother's sandwich shop, and he's like trying to elevate it to like the next level.
Not what I expected.
Yeah.
The Bear.
The Bear.
It's like it's in the mountains by the bear. So getting to that point where you're shooting a feature is a goal. Do you see yourself just getting a call, hopefully, or do you like want to create a feature?
Yeah, I think both.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been working with a lot of local filmmakers on like their short films. I shot like 2 last year, and I got a couple in the can coming up. I don't think that's a phrase, is it? In the can? I think the can is when you're done. Sorry. I got a couple coming up. Yeah.
But you can open the can and
right, you can open the
dump
can.
it out.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and the thing is, like, I was listening to another podcast with a cinematographer that shot like The Witch and a couple of other horror films, and he talked about in his early days he like just got to meet like lots of people, and he realized that you need to shoot a lot because like it's a miracle if any film gets made, so you might as well just like increase your odds, And so I've worked with a lot of great people that were making short films with the intention and hope of turning it into a feature film, and so I think that's kind of like one thing that I've been doing to try to help increase those opportunities. And this other one is like, I would say it's like not as solid, but my wife and I, we took a trip to Europe, and we went and visited Slovakia, which is where my great-grandfather is from, and he fled there during World War I. And just growing up, I had always kind of like heard stories. I never met him, but I always heard stories about, his life and stuff. And we went and found the village where he was at. And I think it just kind of like inspired us. And we were like, man, we really love to tell a story kind of like this, And so even though like I definitely want to be a DP, I could totally see myself like co-directing this with my wife.
Yeah.
Just like this story about Slovakia. And we would probably shift it from World War I to World War II. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Definitely. It's easy to like push it off though, whenever like you're just trying to like make things go on and stuff.
Keep ends together.
Yeah.
You're in the best position to do that. And like to be able to obviously think of a story and do the story, you can shoot the story. And that's the one piece that everyone's missing is like someone that can actually do the thing and actually execute it and then edit it too. Cause like talking to David Thorpe, he's like, I have all these ideas, but I need a camera guy. He's like, I don't like to shoot.
Yeah.
So you're in the right position to either just create it or actually create it and shoot it.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So then to kind of wrap this thing up, like you've been on this journey that, you like to shoot, you went into advertising, now you're DPing and eventually you want to do a film. That's probably, I wouldn't say other than the advertising part, it's probably a pretty traditional like route for a director of photography.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to get there. What would you tell that person to do, I guess, throughout that process if they wanted to get to the same place you're at?
Yeah. I think like the main thing, because there's a lot of like, I think whenever people give advice, it's oftentimes they're talking to like a younger version of themselves, and I think something that I could offer that is like, I think pretty general from almost anybody, would be to like not let fear dictate your steps along the path. And it's a lesson that I've had to reteach myself over and over again. Like I've met people that will tell me like, oh, I really want to do, be a director, but I'm not entirely sure if I can do it. I think I'm going to be an editor or producer because it seems like there's a need for it. But, people don't realize that like there's really, really great people that want to be producers and editors. It's so hard to get into these positions. So you might as well just pick the thing that like you're really good at and that like you're going to, be able to put all of your passion and time and energy into.
And they're letting fear dictate that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another thing, the big thing is really just kind of uncertainty, like learning to kind of push past that uncertainty. I see a lot of people talking about like, the roles that generative AI may play in the future, and I think like it's good to be somewhat skeptical, I think like not trying to say like you should be a Luddite and like just reject all technology and like no new things and stuff like that. But I think sometimes it's important to look at, okay, who is saying this, and let's also look kind of at the history of our industry. And our industry goes through changes all the time, but it's never been the end,
Yes.
We went from like silent to talkies, we went from black and white to color, studio to independent system. There's all these changes that have happened. And every time somebody's been like, it's the end, the art form is dead and stuff. And I think it's important just to not, pay attention to those voices, because, and just push forward because nobody knows, like it's hard to,
and adapt and maneuver and move with it and not against it and not like some old timer that's just like, I'm always doing it this way because we've always done that. But that's longevity. And I think that's an advice for just all things in life. I think it's very easy to be scared. And have fear and be skeptical about all things in the world, especially right now.
Totally.
And I've learned that no matter, I don't want to get political, no matter what's going on in the world, it doesn't seem to affect me that much. It's like personally. It's because we're being dictated by what's on social media. We're seeing the fear from other people and it's being driven by like what we're seeing so much. And it's the same with video. Like I have this conversation quite often with people about AI. Zane actually said it the other day that he's like, I don't believe it's going to take our jobs. He's like, I think it's going to just make our jobs easier and it's just going to help us. Another one that was really cool. I think it was Damian Garcia. He's the stunt driver. He and I kind of came to it together, but basically if it does get to that point where it like makes us irrelevant, we don't have to shoot anything. We can just type it. There is still going to be a group of us that if we continue being good at what we do, we're going to become more valuable. There will be less of us. And because I compared it to like a painter back in the day, and then all of a sudden now you could do digital or even film, and it's like, oh, we don't have to paint anymore. But it's like, no, there's still painters and they're selling things for a lot of money. So it almost becomes like you get to a point where our art form will become more valuable because there's less people doing it, especially the ones that are good. And so that's encouraging to me and anyone. And I think it will take a long time to get to that point, but I think it could. And then in that time, you're going to have a whole generation of people that will never touch a camera. So when they get up, it's like, well, I need someone to film this. I need it to be real. Well, you can call us for $100,000 a day and we'll do it.
Totally. I totally agree,
I'll get off my high horse now.
No, I think that's great. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, like, it kind of reminded me, there was so there's a clip I saw of Guillermo del Toro who shot like Hellboy, and then he did was Pan's Labyrinth. He's done a lot of really big films, and he was asked about generative AI, and he said that like the true value of art is what you are willing to sacrifice to be in its presence. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, okay, my favorite painting of all time is The Calling of St. Matthew by Caravaggio. Like there's something about that just really speaks to me, I would be willing to pay thousands of dollars to fly to Italy to go find the little church that houses it, and just so I could see it, in person. That's cool. I don't know if I will ever be able to feel that same way about something that's completely AI generated. You know what I mean? Like I think there is like an aspect of humanity that is still going to be required, for art and even like good advertising. I bet there probably will be like some kind of lower level, like there's all those banner ads we get hit up with when you go on a website or something. But I think I don't know. I feel like there's an aspect of humanity that people can still relate to.
Totally. With that
Right.
image or that painting, it's that like why this is interesting to kind of think about is like why would you fly to Italy to see this painting?
Yeah.
Like why would you do that?
Yeah. So
Go deep.
yeah, we go deep. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell in love with it because of this video essay that I saw about the painting.
Yeah.
And he described, kind of some of the technical qualities about it, but then he also talked about Caravaggio and like his story and like what kind of led to this, and just hearing his story about like him grappling with like his own like sins. Like he was like not a great guy. He had like, I think killed people like in a drunken fight and stuff like that. And like, was like, I don't know, like I think kicked out of his own city for a while. And just like him, like kind of grappling with like,
bro, that is your style.
Redeemability. Yeah. Thank you.
That's you.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. There was just something about his art in general, but specifically this piece that to me, I was like, this, I don't know, just something just kind of clicked, like I think I connected with, in a way, like the soul of like this artist from, the 1600s or whenever this was painted.
Well, you just answered why. You just answered that question, and there's a story. There's a human story attached to all the details of this. Yeah. And there was meaning and purpose, right?
Right.
If AI created this, and then it could literally create an image similar to this, it's flat. Yeah. There's absolutely no meaning. And so kind of coming full circle on this AI conversation, it won't go away because just like this painting, someone could AI generate it and it's lame, but this will stand the test of time because there is that story. Yeah. There is someone that's actually behind it and there's meaning, and then it was created by a person, right? So it becomes more valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad you did that because that's fun that you actually pulled up and know about a painting. I don't know anything about paintings, and I kind of created that analogy of AI.
Oh, that's okay.
You'll fly all the way to Italy to see this image, but no way we won't even open our phones up to see an AI generated video. It's like,
right.
Who cares?
Exactly.
There's no meaning.
Yeah.
But that's art in general. Yeah. It all comes from people. And Casey Neistat used to say it all the time. He's like, you'll never be able to replace a good story. Yeah. Good stories, man. He's all about the story. And no matter how technical things get, it's like, if you can't tell a good story, then it's worthless. Yeah. So.
Totally agree.
Man, that was some good advice. I'm glad you went into the whole painting thing. That's pretty much wraps this thing up.
Awesome.
Are you done? You're just like, thank you. Good.
I'm a pretty spirited guy. Yeah, I'm kind of sweating right here.
No, it gets hot in here. I know. It sucks. July, everybody. Well, thank you so much for making the time. It was great to meet you and have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Really cool perspective just on being a director of photography. And I think a lot of people will take a lot from it. And like I tell everyone, I'm now rooting for you, man. I hope that you get to that point where you are creating a feature, and when you do, like, that guy was on my podcast, here's the proof. So thanks for being on, man.
Thank you for having me.
And then we just created our new outro. Thanks for coming on. Air Nugs. Is that stupid? It's so bad. Because it is a little bit over and out.
Over and out.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
Okay.
That's it.